Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Talk with Antonio. I am your host, Antonio. First, before I start, I want to apologize that I did not upload last week. I did record and I did edit. However, though, I was not quite happy with how the finished product was. So I said, no, fuck this. So I just deleted the episode. So I'm recording it tonight, and here I am. And for this week's episode, I want to talk about an individual who, in my opinion, I have my own views. I have my 2 cents on what I feel about towards this guy, and that's none other than fucking Logan Paul. He is, first off, let's talk about who the fuck is Logan Paul. I mean, yes, I know who he is. I don't know. He really, just the name pisses me off. And no, this is not jealousy. This is not sour grapes. I'm just saying what I feel about this guy. His name is Logan Alexander Paul. He was born October 1st, 1965 in Westlake, Ohio. He is an American social media influencer, quote, professional wrestler, unquote. He is a YouTuber, an entrepreneur, and actor. It says here that he has over 23 million subscribers on his YouTube channel and has ranked him on the Forbes list for the highest paid YouTube creators in 2017, 2018, 2021. He is a co-founder of the beverage company Prime. Paul, who has also run the Impulsive podcast since November 2018, which has 4 million YouTube subscribers. As a wrestler, he has been signed to WWE since June of 2022, where he performs as a, quote, road agent that would allow him to appear on both Raw and SmackDown. It says here that he gained a following in 2013, posting sketches on the now defunct video sharing application Vine. He registered his first YouTube channel, The Official Logan Paul, on October 18, 2013, where he started posting regularly following the closure of the Vine app. He later created the Logan Paul Vlogs channel on August 29, 2015, which has become the most subscribed YouTube channel. And as of August 2023, the channel has received 23.6 million subscribers and almost 6 billion views. Okay, I'll give him credit. This dude has made a life for himself. He has done Vine. He became famous. He has done all the stuff, which is something that I will give him credit. He has worked very, very hard to get where he's at in YouTube and all social media pages. But as I'm reading here, all the controversies that this dude has been, I think this dude, him and his brother, I believe is Jake Paul. I don't know what is it with people who are YouTubers or all these social media influencers that come from TikTok and all that stuff. How is it possible, like people like Jake Paul, who is now a quote unquote boxer, he's beaten all these other boxers who are way past their prime, and then all of a sudden now he is a big shot boxer. And now a couple of days ago, Jake Paul said that he is going to participate in the 2028 Olympics here in Los Angeles. I was like, what? I guess he's already done whatever the fuck he wanted in boxing. Now he's just going to try to win a gold medal. I just hope he gets his ass whipped. You know, I just don't have any. I don't have any I would say I don't have anything positive to say about that guy or Logan Paul for that matter. And I'll tell you why. It says here that from the beginning, he was born in Westlake, Ohio. And he says that he claims that he has Irish, Welsh, Jewish, French, and German ancestry. He was raised in Westlake with his younger brother Jake, who is also a media personality. He says that he began creating videos for YouTube called Zoosh when he was 10 years old. He attended Westlake High School, and it says here that he started in YouTube in 2015. And he says that he dropped out of Ohio University in 2014 to pursue a career as a full-time social media entertainer here in LA. He moved to an apartment complex in the city with other Vine stars. It says that he became famous during Vine, posting videos in Vine. And in 2014, he had 3.1 million followers on various social media platforms. By April 2014, he had attained 105,000 Twitter followers, 361,000 Instagram followers, 31,000 likes on his Facebook page, and about 150,000 subscribers to his YouTube page. A YouTube compilation video of his Vine work garnered more than 4 million views the first week it was posted. It says here that in 2015, he was the 10 most influential figure in Vine, which has 6-second videos, earning him hundreds of thousands of dollars in advertising revenue. Good for him. I'll give him credit. He worked his ass off to get where he's at in the social media page. He has done all of this stuff. Good for him. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't have his fair share of controversies, which is something right here that I remember hearing about it a while back. And this is something that I don't like to talk about because it's something that really is a very sensitive topic. But before I get into that, it says here that in February 2017, Dwayne Johnson released a YouTube video entitled, quote, "Logan Paul has been cut from all the Rock's movies," in which he informs Paul that he has been cut from all Johnson's films and subsequently consoles him by making him the, quote, "ambassador" to his upcoming Baywatch feature film. On November 23rd, 2017, Paul released his new single, "No Handlebars," a track that draws heavily in interpolated sample of his song "Handlebars" by the American alternative hip-hop group Flowbots. The song was heavily criticized for its perceived sexual objectification of women, including a scene in which his video where Paul rides several women like a bicycle. Flowbots frontman Jamie Laurie lambasted Paul for the both, quote, "sexist lyrical content" of the song and for unauthorized use of the sample, calling him the face of a, quote, "douchebag entitlement," which is something that I totally agree. Laurie would go on to release a track with lyrics deriding Paul's title, "Handle Your Bars." Paul did not respond to Laurie's comments nor the backlash towards the "No Handlebars." After Flowbots sued Paul for copyright infringement in 2019, he deleted the song from YouTube, which doesn't surprise me. He has that sense of entitlement. Just because he is somebody, he can do whatever the fuck he wants and say all this stupid shit. And this is the one here that really took the cake. It says here that on December 31st, 2017, Paul uploaded a vlog to his YouTube channel depicting the recently deceased corpse of a man who had died by hanging himself in Akigahara at the base of Mount Fuji in Japan, known as the, quote, "suicide forest," due to its infamy as a suicide site. Initially intended to be a 3-part of his, quote, "Tokyo Adventure" series, Paul and his group had planned to camp in the woods, but in response to finding the corpse, decided to notify the authorities and cancel their plans. It says that the video garnered 6.3 million views within 24 hours of being uploaded. Paul's video depicting the corpse, which was censored, and his group's reactions to it were criticized by celebrities and politicians. It says here that in addition, he was accused by other members of the YouTube community by being insensitive to suicide victims, which is, yeah. Suicide is a very, very touchy subject, which is something that you don't fuck around with, in my opinion. And it says here that he was also criticized for misbehavior. He was captured taking part during the trip, including climbing onto a moving forklift at the Sogut, I can't pronounce that, I'm sorry, the fish market, removing his clothing in a crowded street, and then proceeding to fight with one of the traveling companions and throwing a giant Pokeball at passing citizens, including an officer of the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department. It says here that several petitions were posted to change the law, urging YouTube to delete Paul's channel in the light of the controversy, the largest of which received more than 720,000 figures as of February 2018. He says that he removed the video from his YouTube channel, following up with a written, in my opinion, a half-ass apology on Twitter. On January 1st, 2018, he said that the following day, he made a video apology into YouTube, which admitted to making a severe, continuous lapse in his judgment and described his behavior as a coping mechanism, asking fans to stop defending his actions in the process. I for one, don't believe his half-assed apology, because that's what it is to me, a half-assed apology. I mean, I have always said this, And well, not said this publicly. I've spoken to this with my nephew because my nephew is he's like not entirely active, but he knows what's going on in terms of the social media world. We live in an era that just because you post a video, you record yourself, and then you post a video on the internet, and then people watch you, and then you think that you become somewhat famous just because you do some stupid shit, and then people say, "Oh, I watched this video. I think I'm famous now." And I'll give you an example. In Dr. Phil, years ago, there was some young fellow, like he thinks he's someone. I don't even know who the fuck he was until he came out on Instagram. He used to have a Twitter page, but his page is gone. Some fellow named Lars, LARZ, I believe that's what it's spelled, Lars. And he said that, and when he came out on Dr. Phil, they were showing videos of him going to, I think it was CVS or Walgreens, opening a bottle of mouthwash. He opened it, he put some in his mouth, and he spit it back into the bottle and put the bottle back in its place, which I think that was fucking disgusting. But later on, he claimed that he bought the bottle. And then the other thing he did was licking the toilet seats during COVID. And lo and behold, he did catch COVID later on. Fucking idiot. And Dr. Phil, he came out with his friend. He kept saying that he also said that he didn't talk to his family because they're irrelevant because they don't have any followers. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, that's something that I have a strong issue. And I'm a millennial, and whenever I hear stuff like that, like this new generation saying that, oh, I have all these followers, I'm like, they have like this sense of entitlement, in my opinion. But that's just me though. And I think even some of even my nephew agrees with that. This generation, they have like this sense of entitlement, and this one is, and Logan Paul, in my opinion, has a sense of entitlement. He does all this stuff just to become like this famous on YouTube and everything. And later on in 2018, he says that YouTube suspended all advertising on Paul's channels due to his, quote, pattern of behavior, referring to a joke he tweeted about the Tide Pod Challenge, removing a fish from his pond to jokingly give it CPR, and tasering two dead rats. It says here that his revenue was temporarily halted as a result. And as a result of his suspension, he broadcast live on Twitch for the first time. And 2 weeks later, YouTube restored ads on Paul's channel. However, his channel was still on 90-day, quote, probation period, in which his channel was not eligible to be on the YouTube's trending tab. And it says here on November 20th, 2018, the first episode of Paul's Impulsive podcast was aired. And he says that in 2019, Paul remarked on a podcast, quote, "What is it? Male only March. We're going to attempt to go gay for just 1 month." He received widespread criticism for implying that being gay is a choice, with the LGBTQ community organization GLAAD responding to Paul's statement on Twitter, writing, "That's not how it works, Logan Paul." And he says that now, and in 2019, he released a mockumentary exploring the flat earth theory. He says that he interviewed self-proclaimed flat earthers and spoke at a 2018 Flat Earth International Conference, which took place in Denver, Colorado. It says here that he was sued by Plainless Pictures in December 2020 for the aforementioned 2017 incident in the Suicide Forest, which he posted a video of the deceased suicide victim. It says that he Plainless Pictures accused him of posting the video in order to escape a movie deal he had them, which he would star, write, and produce their film Airplane Mode. It says here that Google, the video led Google suspending their contract with them, leaving them $3 million in debt. And this dude just gets handed everything. You know, like now he says that he spoke at his flat earth theory. This is another stupid motherfucker who believes that the earth is flat. Like, oh my God, what is it with these people? Like, Logan Paul, like, do you have shit for brains or what, dude? You believe the earth is flat? You clearly haven't seen like videos from space that the Earth is fucking round. I think flat Earth. Get the fuck out of here. What is it with people like you and all these people who believe in this conspiracy theory that the Earth is flat? Are you kidding me? Get fucking real. Read a book for once. Don't just look stuff on the internet just to make up all these conspiracy theories. Read a fucking science book for once. Or go to NASA and they'll tell you that the Earth is not flat because they know their fucking job. Oh, I'm sorry. I just hate that the conspiracy theory of the Earth, the flat Earth theory. Oh, it's just fucking. Oh, I don't know. I just can't stand that, you know. And this guy's another thing with podcasting. Now he just got it, and then later on he went into a boxing career. He only fought 2 matches. One that he won by decision, and the other one by disqualification. He lost by a decision, and he won one by disqualification. And I don't know, him and Jake Paul just like all of a sudden they're boxers, they're YouTubers. Yeah, that's what they are. They're YouTubers. Then they become boxers, then they become podcasters, then they're gonna become radio hosts. And this is where I have a huge issue with Logan Paul. On April 2nd, 2021, on the episode of WWE SmackDown, Logan Paul made his WWE debut as a guest of Sami Zayn for his red carpet premiere of his documentary, with Zayn later inviting Paul to be at ringside for his match at WrestleMania 37 against Kevin Owens. It says that the match, after Owens defeated Zayn, Paul celebrated with Owens before being hit with a stunner by Owens. On September 3rd episode of SmackDown, Paul returned to WWE as Happy Corbin's special guest on the KO show, where Paul helped Corbin attack Owens. It says that on June 30th of 2022, Paul signed a multi-event contract with WWE. And following this, he says that Paul wanted to avenge the attack from Miz at WrestleMania and subsequently defeated him at SummerSlam. Paul then challenged Roman Reigns on the September 16th episode of SmackDown. The two faced off at Crown Jewel on November 5th for Reigns' undisputed WWE Championship. And Paul was unsuccessful in defeating Reigns despite interference from his impulsive entourage and his brother Jake, marking his first loss in WWE, which was his only 3rd match. And he says that he suffered a torn meniscus, MCL, ACL during the match. However, it was revealed that Paul only has sprained his meniscus and MCL. And you know, and then later on, it says here that he fought against Rey Mysterio and he challenged him for the WWE United States Championship on October 14th, and he defeated Mysterio. And then he became the champion up until of SummerSlam this year. He only defended 3 times, and he was champion for 273 days. And he was defeated because SummerSlam took place in Cleveland, Ohio, and that was his hometown, quote unquote. And LA Knight defeated him, so now LA Knight became the United States champion. And right now, what's my issue? And also, he again went into another controversy that happened recently during the Paris 2024 Olympics. But before I get into that, I'm going to say something that I have a huge issue with. Logan Paul, yes, I know. He is a celebrity. People know him throughout the social media world. But I have an issue, is that why is it that Logan Paul all of a sudden became a wrestler? He didn't go to... 1 second. Sorry about that. It was that stupid clock that I have. I mean, we're not that far away from Christmas, so just a few months away. But yes, My issue with Logan Paul is this. They quickly signed the guy and he became champion. He fought against Roman Reigns. He fought against Rey Mysterio. He fought against in major pay-per-views. He fought at WrestleMania. He fought at SummerSlam. All these like big time pay-per-views in WWE. And he was just handed. He was just, everything was handed to this guy. And here's my issue. This is where I have my issue with this guy. Logan Paul did not go to wrestling school. He did not go to NXT to train more. Like, if you're a wrestler, if you want to become a wrestler, you have to go to school. You have to fight in the independents. You have to do all these things to get experience. And then when you're in the independents, you either go now in this day and age, you either go to WWE, you go to AEW or TNA. But first, in order for you to go to sign with any of these three major wrestling companies here in the United States, you have to go to training first. Furthermore, like in WWE, you go to NXT and you stay there for a certain amount of time, and if everything goes well, you get promoted to the main roster. And I'll give you an example of a very famous wrestler who started from nothing, and then he became a legend of all time in the history of professional wrestling. One of my favorites, Sting. When he started, he even said in his DVD that in the early years that both him and the Ultimate Warrior, they both starved. There wasn't any real money making, and they were working like in these small territories and everything, like small cities, and they were just getting paid like $30 to $40 a night, mind you, a night. They weren't making any real money, and they used to wrestle 365 days a year. That's include all major holidays like New Year's, Easter, 4th of July, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all of them. And they said that when they first started, they sent out all these letters, including Japan, and the only one that really gave them a chance to respond to them was Jerry Jarrett. So they went to the southern part of the United States, and they started there little by little. They were like they said, they were green, and then Sting went into to WCW. Ultimate Warrior went to the WWF, and both of them became legends in the wrestling business. But the only difference between Logan Paul and those two wrestlers is that they paid their dues. They worked their asses off to become somebody. They went to training. They wrestled in the independents before they went into the big time. That's the difference. And include all these other wrestlers who want to get the big money. They go to school. They go to training. Yes, some make it. Some don't make it. That's life. But the people who really want to make it, they work their asses off to train, to just get that imaginary brass ring that Vince McMahon has said. But if you make it into the WWE or an AEW or a TNA, it's because you worked your ass off. And that's something that I truly respect. It doesn't matter if it's either with baseball, basketball, pro wrestling, and even regular jobs. Like, for example, if you want to become a filmmaker, you have to go to school for that. Or if you want to go into radio, you got to go to the school of broadcasting. You know what I'm saying? You have to do all these things to become, if you want to do something in that profession, you have to go to training. You have to do all this kind of stuff. And that's the one thing with people who become big in wrestling. They start in the independent. They go to school. They start in the independent shows, and then they go to the other companies. And if you make it into WWE, that's the big time right there. It's like, for example, Kevin Owens. When he debuted in the WWE, he fought against John Cena. He was the NXT champion. And Kevin Owens said to a degree, like, I've been doing this longer than you, and the only difference is that I didn't get a break until now. And look at Kevin Owens. He's a well-known big name in the WWE nowadays. Well, it's Logan Paul. He didn't go to training. He didn't do none of that stuff. He is an outsider, in my opinion, in my view. And it says here that there is. This is from Ringside News. it says that Logan Paul admits to feeling resentment from the WWE locker room. And I totally agree with that. It says here that Logan Paul's surprising success in professional wrestling, particularly his current reign as the United States champion, has certainly caught fans off guard. With that said, Paul has admitted that he felt there was a feeling of resentment towards him in the WWE locker room after he started gaining success in the WWE. It says here that the Maverick captured the United States by defeating Rey Mysterio Crown Jewel last year, and he defended the title on only 2 occasions. And it says here that Logan Paul revealed that the WWE locker room received him horribly, and after he started gaining success in WWE. He reflected on his experience in the WWE locker room, describing it as negative overall, and I agree. I don't agree entirely with other things with how the WWE locker room handles things, but when it comes to Logan Paul, I totally agree. He acknowledged that he received respect from certain individuals such as Randy Orton, The Miz, and even Roman Reigns, who welcome him warmly. He says that he sensed a level of resentment from the rest of the locker room. Paul recognized that as someone who has not immediately been part of the locker room dynamics, has had his own private space, and has only may have appeared to be an outsider who hadn't earned his place, and that is something I totally agree. He's an outsider. He is not a wrestler. He is a YouTuber. He is an entrepreneur. In my opinion, Logan Paul does not deserve the success that he has had in WWE. I'm sorry. He doesn't deserve none of his success. Just because of the things, he should just stick to YouTube, not professional wrestling. He is an outsider. I'm sorry. And it says here that he attributed some of his resentment to his prior accomplishments and his drive to outwork everyone in the industry, which might have been frustrating for others to see, especially given his access to perks like a green room. And I think, and I can tell that by Logan, look, I've never met the guy, but just by judging how Logan Paul comes off, he comes off that he likes to rub people the wrong way. You can tell he rubs people the wrong way just by his attitude, just because of his success in YouTube, being an entrepreneur. Like I say, this is not sour grapes. I'm just saying in terms of wrestling, he doesn't deserve none of that success because he never trained to be a pro wrestler. And I question, in that aspect, I do question WWE of why they did that to him, you know? And there's another thing that he said that this is what made me lose respect for this guy. It says here that in 2 years, Logan Paul has earned 1 reign as WWE United States Champion, while also challenging for the undisputed WWE Championship 2 occasions. Despite his early success, though, Paul admits that there's a sense of jealousy towards WWE's top stars, namely Roman Reigns. How dare you, motherfucker? Roman Reigns, yes, he started, they tried to push him to be like the next John Cena, but fans resented that, you know? Even though he was a babyface, fans boo him nonetheless. He was like the Samoan version of John Cena. But the difference is with John Cena, in my opinion, Vince McMahon was... I'm not a fan of Cena, by the way. But Vince McMahon is too fucking stupid for not turning him heel, because if he would have turned John Cena heel, he would have had what happened with Hulk Hogan back in 1996 at Bash at the Beach. He was a quote-unquote babyface, but people despised that. They didn't want that. You know? They were booing him. And then when Bash at the Beach came along, Hulk Hogan was, quote unquote, supposedly going to help Macho Man, Sting, and lo and behold, he was the third man of hauling Nash, and he became a heel, and it all hell broke loose, and that was the success for WCW. Hogan and Hall and Nash, they formed the NWO because he was a heel, and that's why that was another reason that WCW was kicking WWE's ass for 64 weeks in the ratings with Nitro against Raw. And that's why, and that's the thing. And the thing with Roman Reigns, though, they were trying to do the same thing, but the fans resented the guy. They didn't want him that. And then when he became champion, he made it multiple times. He, quote unquote, being the baby face. Fans didn't want that, you know. They didn't want to wrestle. They didn't want to see him like a quote baby face. So Roman, when he was supposed to fight against Bill Goldberg for WrestleMania, I forget. I think it was the 2020 WrestleMania, I forget. But that was when COVID came in, and he didn't want to wrestle Goldberg because you know how Roman had leukemia, and he didn't want to risk his life or his family's life. So he just skipped the event, and he was gone for pretty much half the year. He returned and he attacked, I think it was SummerSlam, he attacked the late Bray Wyatt, and he was a heel, and that's when he became the WWE Universal Champion. And he was a heel, but fans started to like the guy. It's just like the same thing happened with The Rock. With The Rock, when he debuted in 1996, he was the quote unquote traditional baby face, all smiling and all that stuff, like the blue chipper. That's what they're referring to. But fans hated that. They were saying to him, when they were chanting "Rocky sucks, die Rocky die," and that's when The Rock did that famous speech. And he was a bad guy, and when he was a bad guy, that's when people started cheering for him. The same thing happened with Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns paid his dues. He worked his ass off. And now, when he lost to Cody Rhodes in WrestleMania 40, he came back a couple weeks ago, and people were cheering him. And then he came back, I think it was at SummerSlam, when he helped Cody Rhodes, and the arena just popped. And that's why I respect Roman Reigns, because he worked his ass off. He worked his ass off, and he paid his dues. That's why he deserved all the success. Like with this cocksucker Logan Paul, no, he doesn't deserve anything. He says that and impulsive, Logan Paul said that he was jealous of Roman. He says here, and I quote, "I'm envious of guys like Roman Reigns who don't have to risk their entire body and health and wellness because people are so invested in the story of the bloodline," Paul said. "It's such a good note. There's a veteran note, but the hardest part is how can you tell the story to get the people invested in who you are?" And he says that Paul's guest was WWE Hall of Famer The Undertaker. Undertaker provided an answer to his latter question, explained the fan investment can take time to gain. And I quote, "It takes time, and especially somebody coming in at 2 or 3 years ago. At 3 years, I could barely lace my boots. There's such a process, but it's trial and error too," Undertaker said. "You have to figure out what you want because you want it to look natural. You want to look real. I think a lot of times what happens are these guys, and I tell them all the time, you don't look like a wrestler to me. You look like someone trying to emulate a wrestler. You're trying to be something that you're on TV. I don't get that with you. I get Logan Paul. That's what I get, and that's awesome. I'm sorry, Taker, but I don't agree with you what he said about Logan Paul. I don't agree with that." And this idiot and Logan Paul, like, you know how, like, he said all this stuff, and I just like don't share his success in WWE. And this is what he said, and this is something that I have a major issue with that. Let me see. Give me 1 second, people. Okay. A couple of weeks ago, few weeks ago, I'm sorry, there was a boxer. In the Paris Olympics, there was a boxing match between Albania's Iman Khalif and this boxer from Italy, and I don't know what the fuck happened, and she just got in the middle of the ring, and then she just quit, and quote unquote, that's when things started to go haywire, saying that she was quote unquote a man. And Imane, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, please forgive me, was a legit woman. She's a female, but the thing is, though, she looks like a man, but because she was born with an extra chromosome, and especially where she's from, Albania, It's very legal to be gay. It's very legal to be transgender or become transform from a man to a woman. Anything that has to do, because you know how the Middle East is. They frown upon that. But yet people like Elon Musk, J.K. Rowling were saying all these fucking shits, and especially like people like right wingers here, especially like fucking Lauren Boebert. Everybody started like to fucking stir up the pot, like stirring up shit in terms of how saying that this person was a man going into a boxing, a woman's sport, but in reality she is a female. Like I said, she has an extra chromosome. And fucking Logan Paul, as usual, was running his mouth again. And it says here, he wrote this on Twitter. He deleted it because I did actually respond with a meme where he's like, from Office, where he's like, oh, like, you fucking idiot. Logan Paul said this, and I quote, "This is the purest form of evil unfolding right before your eyes. A man was allowed to beat up on a woman and on a global stage, crushing her live stream while fighting for her deceased father. This delusion must end." That was not the case. Cliff said, in fact, she was born female. And she said that Paul deleted his initial tweet and released a new statement acknowledging that he might have unintentionally spread misinformation. Yes, you were fucking being a fucking conspiracy theorist. Logan Paul said, quote, "Oopsies. I might have been guilty of spreading misinformation along with the entirety of this app. Although she's been previously disqualified for failing a, quote, gender test and that has XY chromosomes, some sources say Imane Khalif was born a biological woman. I stand by my sentiment." Fucking idiot. And then, I stand by my statement that biological men should not compete against a biological in any sport. And if you disagree, you're a sick fuck. You know what, dude? Fucking eat a dick, Logan Paul. And then he said that he was WWE reached out to Logan Paul after the controversial tweet. And it says right now I cannot find the article, but if someone could, it's out there somewhere. It says that WWE reached out to Logan Paul about that, and they say he started to fucking throw a temper tantrum like the bitch that he is. In my opinion, Logan Paul should have just kept his mouth shut. And yes, and judging by what he's saying, he's just thinking like these typical right-wingers right now. And the female boxer, Imane, is filing a cyberbullying lawsuit, and that includes fucking J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, Elon Musk, and the list that the people that I don't see. I don't think she mentioned Logan Paul, but in my opinion, and also Donald Trump might be part of the investigation. I mean, yeah, because fucking Trump was also, that's another guy who likes to fucking runs his mouth and just spew venom all the time. And on the says here in the lawsuit, I don't see Logan Paul, but it would be nice if this boxer would sue all these other people like Lauren Boebert, all these other right wingers who like to fucking stir up, like all fucking shit stirrers and backstabbers. But yeah, let's see what happens with this boxer, and I hope this boxer sues these two motherfuckers, especially J.K. Rowling and Elon Musk, because Elon Musk now is a fucking idiot who's just running his mouth. And he did an interview with that guy, and it was a fucking fiasco. But right now, back to Logan Paul. It says that he lost the United States title against LA Knight, and right now he hasn't appeared since. So in conclusion, Logan Paul, in my opinion, should just stick to YouTube. Or on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. And no, like I said before, this isn't sour grapes of his success. I applaud. He deserves all the success. He deserves everything, in my opinion. He deserves everything. But in just my opinion, he should not open his mouth in controversial things right now with this, what she did with this female boxer in the Paris Olympics. If you just keep it to yourself, dude. Just shut up. Stick to YouTube. Stick to just go film doing stupid shit, Logan Paul. You don't deserve, in terms of wrestling, you don't deserve none of the success in WWE. Other people who are working their ass off, trying to make it there, deserve that. You don't deserve none of that success in WWE. And I'm sorry, and I just don't give a shit about Logan Paul. Him and his brother, fuck them both. I'm sorry. I'm just saying what I feel. So that about wraps up for this week's podcast. Next week, I will be talking about something that I was going to talk about it this week, but the thing with Logan Paul came up, and I wanted to talk about this first. Next week, I will be talking about two things that are shut down in Griffin Park. One is forever shut down, and the other one is quote-unquote temporarily, but judging by how it's taking, I think it's going to be forever. I'm going to be talking about the pony rides that were open from the 1950s up until 2022 of December, and the merry-go-round or carousel from Griffin Park that has been shut down since 2022 also. And quote-unquote, there is no timetable, but I don't think it's ever going to be open, because I've called and I've asked, when is it going to open? They don't have a definite answer. So I want to be talking about how that historical site has now just become a relic of Griffin Park, basically a relic of the city of Los Angeles. So that about wraps up for this week's podcast, and I want to say thank you all who do listen to me, and have a great night, and I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.